Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look here again at KAS, but double checking a few key factors. Super glad we closed our short in profit. While it wasn't a lot of profit at all, we still made sure to get out of this trade before it got too crazy because KAS has been showing a lot of strength in the last 24 hours. And with Bitcoin having pulled back yesterday and KASPA price staying the same, now today Bitcoin is stabilizing, KASPA going up, it makes perfect sense. Super happy to hear again, positive feedback from our community, but more important, just in general, really good considerations for proper risk management again. So we'll take a look at some things here on the back end. I have my charts pulled up here. This is forecast, but of course, and as per usual, there's a lot of shorts and longs kind of concurrent on the smaller time frame. So people are expecting it to go up as equal as they are expecting it to go down. So I can totally side with that because it's given us some false positives. But at this point here, again, this liquidation levels here over the monthly, that's starting to dissipate. So that area of 13 cents, that's starting to kind of come down. It was bright red recently, but now it's kind of starting to stabilize. What I mean by that is a lot of longs are securing profits and essentially closing their positions. So that's a good sign. And for the most part, not to say that level couldn't still get swept, it's just that from a liquidation perspective, there's more potential for the price to go up than down based on the liquidation levels being higher and heavier above the price. 17 cents has roughly $7 million, not dollars rather, but 7 million in liquidation at about the 17-cent mark. Okay, so again, it's kind of what we're looking at there at this point here. And again, you can see a lot more longs entering the market here for this coin. So it just makes sense the way things are going here for the moment. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the daily time frame and see if this is more likely to go up than down. And when it comes to like longer term trend lines, like this coin's doing pretty well in the overall sense of things. In fact, we could even draw out a trend line here for the current price action because of the simple fact that it's honoring its ascending trend. Okay, so what I mean by that is we can see it's tested this level here, unless this level here hasn't broken below it yet. So until it does, we have no consideration for the price action to go down anytime soon. Okay, and again, it's just this is more so a macro perspective. This is not definitive by any stretch, but it's helpful to understand the overall trend is still up. Okay, again, you don't try not to short into a trend like that. Again, all the more reason why we closed our trade with a small profit before it got any worse. Okay, so when we take a look here at the daily time frame, we're looking at this again, this ascending trend line running concurrent with the 50-day SMA. That's phenomenal. We saw a wick all the way down to 0.618 fib level, but holding this 0.5 pretty strong. We can also see this point of control here, roughly at about 15 cents, telling us that there's a lot of interest in this area. Granted, this isn't like a big perspective here. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit further and get the more definitive. But the truth is that this is a heavy concentration as well as 14 cents even. Okay, so 14 to 15 cents, depending on how close you zoom in. That's the point of control for the last, you could say, just 6-7 months. It's a long time, but we have a lot of support in that area. So again, the whole purpose of us shorting recently was to try to get down to this lower level of liquidity on the monthly there to sweep that 13-cent range and just call it good. Never came down that low, so again, we closed that early in profit there for that trade. Having said all that, looking down here, we can see we're maintaining this level close to 50 on the RSI. Now, if it's just barely below, just barely above, that's not like a definitive line. And truth is, we want to be over 50 here, but that's a very, very good sign, good starting point with the money flow index bouncing, stochastic RSI swinging upwards, and MACD losing its momentum. Okay, so this is a generally favorable daily time frame. Now, it's not perfect by any stretch. I talked about that yesterday, but at this point here, it's starting to gain momentum and be kind of nice. And again, you're probably looking at this chart, you're like, wait a minute, I don't get it. How is that ascending trend positive when we're below it this whole time? Truth is, we've been above it on the larger time frames. That's the important thing. Daily closures are probably the most efficient way of understanding the big picture. 4-hour time frame tells us there was a shift in momentum. That's what we kind of tapped into a few days ago when we had that bearish divergence. That's since disappeared. Okay, we got a strong amount of momentum. We're now over 50 in the RSI. Money flow index is high, and MACD is converging. These are all very, very positive 4-hour time frame things you want to look for. We're also testing the 50 and the 200-day SMA. Solid chance we get a rejection there, but again, this double top, it could work out in different ways. Right? A lot of times you will see the price action come up like this and back down. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the price reject off that level, at least initially, or it could be something as simple as the price action cup and handling out and continuing further up to essentially retest that trend line and continue higher. Okay, again, that's generally what you see in most cases, but there's no definitive sign telling us that's going to happen exactly, but we are establishing higher lows and higher highs, fairly well. So I personally feel like this is a pretty decent little situation here. Unless Bitcoin just tanks, we should be in pretty good shape. And honestly, when Bitcoin pulled back really, really strong just yesterday, or the night before last, rather, we saw a minor correction from Caspa compared to the majority of the market. Okay? So again, Bitcoin did this, Caspa did this, and went sideways. It's pretty good sign, pretty good look for this coin. All right. So again, when you identify things like that, well, maybe I shouldn't be in a short trade. All right. Last but not least, Ichimoku Cloud. We're now above the cloud. Conversion lines above the baseline. Lagging spans free and clear. This coin has every reason to continue further higher, and very little reason to continue any lower. Okay, so hindsight's 2020. Wishing we'd opened a long position, but instead we closed our short again early in profit. Having said all that, there's a strong chance we're going to see the price action continue further up. But what I'd love to see is a break through this resistance range at about 15 cents and to come back down and retest it as a support. So we're looking for a closure at 15 cents or higher today to, kind of just give us the indication the price is more likely to continue further up. Take a look though at TD Sequential. Keep in mind, we have a minor overextension that has been corrected. So truth is, we're not massively overextended. We're looking pretty solid for a good continuation here. So I think Caspa has tremendous potential to continue higher up. Now that we're honoring that ascending trend, we're looking pretty good here. Okay, awesome. So that is kind of where we're at there. I'll go ahead and update our playout chart here. I'll post that on Twitter, Telegram, Discord, TikTok, YouTube, the whole 9 yards. And if you're curious as to what my thoughts are, I typically always post those there for you as well. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.